Hello, fans, and welcome back in here as we start our Game 2 pregame show here on YouTube Live. Want to go ahead and welcome you guys on in and welcome in now our fans over on Mixler.com to the Game 2 pregame show. If your field isn't game day ready, call Miller's Mowing 607 302 8226. The Pioneers getting ready for game number 2 of the doubleheader. We're going to step aside for just a moment, get you caught up with the Medical Minute with Dr. Emily Canfield. We'll be right back here on Mixler.com and get you ready for game number 2. So a big thank you to everybody tuning in here live on youtube.com as we get set for our second game of action. We are just about ready to play ball, but before we do, we want to turn it over one more time here on the Miller's Mowing pregame show and remind you that if your field isn't game day ready, call Miller's Mowing 607-302-8226. Starting lineup for your Elmira Pioneers, Brendan Kester out there on the bump. Andrew Sexton will lead off and play center field. Brody Moore at shortstop. Preston Moore at third base. Kyle Richardson, designated hitting. Nathan Berg batting in the fifth spot and playing second base. Bryce Moskowitz back behind the dish. Zach Turner out in left field. Brennan Dorigi out at first base. Quinn Buffington playing right field. Of course, they're going to face a little different lineup this time from Geneva. Dylan Chiaro will be designated hitting. Brennan Chisholm playing second base. Brandon Cooper at center field, Trevor Rogers at first, Alex Bibb at right field, Harrison Treble at left, Ryan Galaney at third base, Seth Hojanaki at catcher, and Ronan Chisholm at shortstop, with Jacob Land taking the bump for the Geneva Red Wings. I want to thank everybody once again for tuning in on the Mixler.com pregame show here live in the Miller's Mowing pregame show on Mixler.com, If your field isn't game day ready, call Miller's Mowing 607-302-8226. Mixler.com just finishing up the medical minute with Doc Emily Canfield as we get the last couple throws downs here. And I believe I'm going to have to cut her off in just a moment as they're into the last 45 seconds of that conversation. We'll have to see if we can power our way through that. As again, Kester takes his spot on the mound. We'll tell you a little bit here as Kester, 3.6 ERA, 1 win, 1 loss in 3 games, 2 of them starts, 10 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 runs, 4 of them earned, 7 bases on balls, 7 strikeouts. 7s are wild on the Kester line score. So as we are wrapping up here on the pregame show, umpire has his helmet on. Everybody looks ready to go. And I'm going to apologize one more time. We're apologizing to our Mixler.com crowd. We had to step away from Doc Emily's end of the medical minute a little bit early, but we're live here at historic Dunn Field as Dylan Chiaro heads for the plate for Geneva, and he'll be the first one to face Brendan Kester. Kester with the 1-1 record certainly will be looking to expand on that a little bit, add a couple more wins as we wrap up the pregame show and start with the first pitch. The windup and the pitch is in there for ball 1, a little bit high as Kester goes to work. Again, shortened outing here as we have a doubleheader. 7 innings will do it. Pioneers 0-1 on the day. Kester winds, delivers in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to start things off here tonight. So a little bit later than originally anticipated. Started expecting the 4:05 start. Getting started here at about 4:48. That one outside. 2 balls, 1 strike as Kester continues to work on the first batter of the ballgame. Kester winding up on the mound. He looks in. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Chiaro as a leadoff hitter. 111 batting average in 9 attempts. So Kester trying to quickly move through the inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. As again, coming back set. Kester winds and delivers. High, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Kester heads back out to the mound. Kester comes back set. He looks in. Winds and delivers. Cut on and popped up. This one heading towards foul territory down that right field line. Buffington lays himself out but can't quite reach the ball as that will go all the way back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It was long, it was loud, but it didn't result in much as, again, the Pioneers will have to head back to the field. So, 3 balls, 2 strikes as Chiaro heads back for the batter's box. As Chiaro waits for Quinn Buffington to get back into his spot at right field. Buffington showing quite a bit of speed out there. So again, the windup and the pitch in there for ball 4. So Chiaro starts out with a base on balls. We'll see what Brennan Chisholm can do. Chisholm steps in. With runners on base, Brennan Chisholm 3 for 6, 500 batting average, 2 RBIs. See if he can keep that up here against Pioneers pitcher Brendan Kester. Kester checks over on the runner at first. Kester comes back set. Winds and delivers. In there for a strike on the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike to the Geneva second baseman. So a runner on first here as Kester trying to get himself back in the start of this game. Thrown over to first quickly and not in time as Derigi slaps the tag on anyway. 0-1 count. Chisholm standing in at home plate. Kester checks back on the runner. He winds and delivers. In there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. As again, Kester heads back for the mound. Kester out of the University of Kentucky. As the windup and the pitch. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1 count to the number 2 batter. As the Pioneers struggled to get off to good starts against Geneva so far this year. Need to find a way to turn that around and get things going early. As Kester looks in, he's checked the runner, winds and delivers. High and outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. And trying to avoid a similar situation to what we saw in the first game with a couple of walks in the first inning, to say the least. Kester looks in, has his sign, winds and delivers. In there for strike 2, 3 balls, 2 strikes as Kester pulls himself back into the count. So, Brendan Kester trying to get out of the first inning. First needs to get the first out, but would like to get out of the first inning unscathed here. The wind, the pitch, cut on and fouled away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And we remind you once again to make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. As again, Pioneers. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. As coming back set, Kester. He winds and delivers. High, that's ball 4. So the fake run got Kester's attention and was able to draw a base on balls for Brennan Chisholm. And that'll bring up Brandon Cooper. Cooper, with runners in scoring position, is 143 in 7 at-bats, has a home run and 5 RBIs. As Cooper steps in. Force will be out there for any base, first, second, or third. As, again, coming back set is Kester. He throws. Ground ball towards third. Stepped on third. Thrown over to second. And not in time. So they get the lone runner at third base, getting the lead runner. And Cooper will reach on the fielder's choice. So that'll bring up Trevor Rogers, who's playing in his second game of the day. Rogers, back in the first game, ended up going 1 for 4, had a base on balls, reached on an error, and drove in a run. Presented with a similar opportunity here as he's got runner in scoring position. Rogers sets up as Kester looks in. Checks the runner at second. Kester winds, delivers. In there for a strike on the inside corner. So again, Kester will go back to work. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. As Kester looking in. Rogers appears to be ready. Kester looks back to the runner on second base. He winds and delivers. In there for strike 2. 0-2 count very quickly here for Brandon Kester. Brendan steps up back on the mound. Checks the runners at second and third. A ground ball out of the former hitter Brandon Cooper, who now stands on first base, was a blessing. Got the runner at third. Inside and goes back to the backstop. That's going to advance both runners as that one came awfully close to hitting Trevor Rogers. That'll put both runners in scoring position. Kester now with a 1-ball, 2-strike count, as he's going to look to try to punch out Trevor Rogers. Will then have to face Alex Bibb as he stands on deck. Bibb, who has not had an at-bat as of yet, or he has had an at-bat, he's just not registered on my sheet here. Apologize about that, fans, as looking up and down my stat sheet, I don't have an average here, but he is on a situational sheet. That one popped up. This should be playable, as everybody running in for it, and the grab is made by Derigi. And again, Pioneers get an out on a foul ball with some speed. Brennan Derigi comes over and makes the catch in foul territory, as the catcher had some trouble seeing that one in the sunlight, as Bryce Moskowitz had lost it. But what a play, as again, Pioneers coming through in the clutch, making the out. They have runners on second and third, does Geneva, but Bibb comes up. Bibb, as I said, one at bat with runners on base, one at bat with runners on scoring position. But I don't have him on my list here, as 1 strike, 0-1 goes the count. So, Bibb stepping back in. No balls, 1 strike. Runners at second and third. The wind, the pitch from Kester is in there for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And now Kester 1 strike away from working himself out of a heap of trouble here in the top of the first. Kester coming back set on the mound. He looks in. Alex Bibb waiting. Kester checks the runner at third. Moves into his windup and delivers. Cut on and fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 more time. As Kester heads back for the hill. Rolling the ball around in his hands, trying to get a good feel for it. As Bibb will step back into the batter's box. Kester comes back set. Staring in as Bibb working around the bat. He winds and deals. Cut on. Grounded towards the shortstop. Scooped up there. And Brody Moore throws it in time. And that'll get the end of the inning. As 3 straight after 2 straight walks go down. And the Pioneers head to the bottom of the first, tied 0-0. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, and with that, we are back live here from historic Dunfield. Want to remind everybody, if you got nothing to do over the next 2 days, Pioneers Camp will kick off tomorrow, July 1st and 2nd from 10 a.m. till noon. It's $50 per child, and if you have multiple children attending, just $10 per sibling. Register on the first day of camp right down here at Dunfield, starting at 10 a.m. Also, don't forget the Elmira Enforcers are kicking off their season the last weekend of October against the defending champion Carolina Thunderbirds, as the championship rematch takes place in week number 1. Head on down to First Arena and get your early bird pricing to kick off the second season of Elmira Enforcers Hockey. Last couple throws being taken here by Jacob Land. We'll go through his stats. 3.45 ERA, 2 wins, 8 games played, 15.2 innings pitched, 10 hits, 6 runs, all of them earned, 12 bases on balls, and 18 strikeouts. So he has been efficient, as now we're going to see a little bit different roster put together here, as Andrew Sexton will lead off the game. Sexton, we talked about it, he has had some impressive at-bats since joining the team. And now we'll be looking to capitalize on some early opportunities as he will be leading things off here. So Sexton coming up. The center fielder been very effective here at home as well. Has had a lot more time on the road as all the Pioneers have. It's been a long couple weeks on the road for the Elmira Pioneers. As now the wind, the pitch, cut on and missed by Sexton as he went after pitch number 1. No balls, 1 strike as Land goes to work here. So the windup and the pitch in there for strike number 2. 0-2 quickly here by Jacob Land. The Geneva Red Wings would love to keep their pitcher usage down here. The wind and the pitch. In there for a strike, and down goes Sexton as he strikes out looking. On the first at-bat of the game, Brody Moore will be the next man up. So, Moore comes up. He'll be looking to get things started for the Pioneers after the strikeout looking on 3 straight pitches to Andrew Sexton. Moore positions himself in the batter's box. The wind and pitch outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes to Brody Moore here in the bottom of the first inning. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and hard to handle for the catcher back there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The first Tioga Down showdown of the afternoon here. Don't forget, you too can be an all-star. Catch Smash Mouth during their summer concert series down at Tioga Downs this summer. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. As the Pioneers trying to start something off here. No runs, no hits, no errors for Geneva in the top half of the first. Pioneers right now with 1 quick out, looking to do something here in the bottom half of the first. The windup and pitch from Land. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. So again, Brody Moore going to make an impact here. Like we said, he's the Feral Gas Friday subject this past week. Make sure to log on to YouTube and check out Feral Gas Fridays. That one's outside too. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Brody Moore brings it all the way back full. Moore stepping back in. He waits. The windup and the pitch from Land. Cut on by Moore. Fouled back and onto the roof. So we remind you, make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 more time. As Brody Moore tries to put himself on base. Another windup. Started here by Jacob Land. The throw. Cut on, and that one was a bit inside. Squirts out to the shortstop. 1 shortstop grounds out to the other, and we have 2 away. That'll bring up Preston Moore, the third baseman. As Moore heads up. Moore, back in the first game, went 2 for 4, doubled and an RBI. As he moves from 4th in the order to 3rd. Moore steps into the batter's box. Jacob Land trying to make quick work of this first inning. As Moore waits. The wind and the pitch. Bounces up there, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Pioneers trying to fight their way through. With any luck, find their way into the lead here. As that one grounded once again towards short. Shortstop grabs it, throws over to first. It's in time. And the Pioneers go down 1-2-3 in the first inning. When we come back, the Pioneers will head back out to the field. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixler.com. All right. Well, Harrison Treble heads up to the dish as the Pioneers try to keep the perfect zeros rolling. 0 in the top of the first, 0 in the bottom of the first. The windup and the pitch from Kester. Cut on and missed by Treble for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Perfect blue skies here at historic Dunn Field. We want to thank everybody for joining us as the windup and the pitch. In there for ball 1, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. As Brendan Kester going right back to work. Pioneers have had some trouble with Geneva this year as Kester winds, deals, fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As again, Elmira trying to find a way to crack the armor of Geneva. And so far, it's been an uphill battle. Geneva has just really had their number this season. As again, Kester comes back set. He looks in. And the umpire calls time as Kester will have to reset. Kester very fidgety out there on the mound. It's interesting to watch as you see Brendan Kester out there on the pitcher's mound. He winds, delivers, cut on and fouled down the line. Trying to get there is the third baseman, Preston Moore. He's not going to make it in time. As again, the play will go back out to the mound. Scoreboard got a little messed up out there. Now there's 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. As once again, Kester goes back to work. The wind, the pitch. In there for strike 3, and that will put Harrison Treble down on strikes. That brings up Ryan Galaney. Galaney coming up today as he has been hitting towards the bottom of the lineup this summer. 167, 2 for 12 on the season. As Galaney will get in, get a chance to hit here. The windup and the pitch. Swung on, tap back towards the pitcher's mound. Kester racing it over himself and not taking any chances on throwovers. So Kester gets a ground ball out from Galaney on 1 pitch, and that'll bring up Seth Hojanaki. Hojanaki batting .050. 1 hit and 20 at-bats. See if Kester can keep that going. Would love to get through the top of the second unscathed and preferably in 1-2-3 order. After giving up 2 bases on balls to get things started, Kester has settled down and really pitched well. here into the second inning. The windup and pitch, cut on, grounded towards the second baseman, scooped up by Berg, thrown over to first, and Derigi makes the play. That will do it as we head to the bottom of the second. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. It's 0-0. We'll be right back. All right, and with that, we are back. The Pioneers getting ready to go back out into the field, go back into the batter's box and try to put balls into the field as Kyle Richardson, who will bat fourth, steps up. And he had a base on ball in the last game, was able to get to first base, but not able to do a heck of a lot after that. Pioneers are going to be looking to get something started with 4-5-6 up to the dish. Tell you what, this has been quick moving so far as Jacob Land heads back to the mound. So a pretty good start to the affair by Kester and Land, certainly matching up well in the first and now half of the second as Land goes to work. The windup and the pitch, cut on and fouled away, reminding you once again to make the right decision, insist on Gerber collision. As again, Richardson steps up. Land looking in. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and missed by Richardson. No balls, 2 strikes. So Richardson steps back in. He looks out. The wind and pitch from Land. Cut on and fouled back. Hitting hard off of the metal there. So again, another foul ball. Make the right decision. Insist on Gerber collision and auto glass for all of your automotive needs. The windup and the pitch. Cut on, popped back up, and one more time back and over into the press area. So 0-2, one more time. Jacob Land winds and delivers. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. As again, Pioneers trying to find a way on base. They have yet to have a base runner yet here tonight. The windup, the pitch, cut on and popped up down the foul line. That'll be a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. As again, Pioneers go back to work here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. So the windup and the pitch. Bounces up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2. Nobody out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out as the Pioneers will go back to work. Richardson. Waiting. Land now looking straight in. Umpire gets back set. Land ready to go. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and missed. Richardson goes down on strikes. That'll bring up Nathan Berg. Berg playing second base. Back in the first game of the evening, he went 1 for 2 with 2 bases on balls. He did reach on an error. Berg really starting to swing the bat as of late, as he steps back in. Land winds and delivers. Taken for strike 1, 0-1. As we're here in the bottom of the second inning, no balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Pioneers up to bat. In there for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Our next Tug-A-Down showdown. Make sure to come on down and check out horse-drawn kart racing. Only place to see that. They'll wind up in the pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As again, Berg trying to extend the inning. The windup and the pitch from Land in there for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As Berg steps back in. Land not taking a ton of time between the pitches. Again, we've seen that a lot out of the Geneva pitchers, trying to stay on top of batters. The windup and the pitch. High and inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count. As Elmira goes back to work here. Berg trying to be the first base runner of the night for the Pioneers. Berg waiting. As Land comes back set, he winds and delivers. In there for strike 3, and Berg will go down on strikes looking. 3rd strikeout of the night for Jacob Land. That'll bring up Bryce Moskowitz wearing number 26, the catcher, as Moskowitz heads for the dish. Moskowitz stepping in as he circles the right-handed batter's box. Now stepping in, Jacob Land, trying to keep the Elmira Pioneers batters off of the base paths. In there for ball 1, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. So the windup and the pitch. Cut on and hit down the third base line. Picked up by the third baseman, thrown over, and a tough play, but I believe he makes it. He tags out Moskowitz. So not able to strike out the side, but they do get 1, 2, 3 again as we head for the top of the third. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, well, Kester working himself out for his 3rd inning of work. That's going to send up the Geneva Red Wings' last batter in the order, Ronan Chisholm. Chisholm, a $143 hitter, 1 for 7, has not gotten a heck of a lot of opportunities as the Pioneers continue to try to work here. They've done a pretty good job here in the first and second inning. As now Chisholm comes up. Kester goes right back to work here. See almost more like a nervous twitch in his hand as he releases the ball. He comes back set, winds and delivers. Cut on and missed by Ronan. 0-1. No balls, 1 strike as Brennan goes right back to work. So Chisholm waits at the dish. Kester sets, delivers. In there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. As again, the Pioneers infield standing out. Normal depth here. Not too worried about Chisholm laying something down. That one bounces up. 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, neither side with a hit here as of the top of the third inning. As Kester looking in. He winds and delivers. Swung on and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As again, Kester heads back out to the dish. Out to the mound, excuse me. Stepping back up to the dish is Ronan Chisholm. Chisholm looking in. The windup and the pitch from Kester is cut on, hit out towards the second baseman. Diving for it was Berg. He couldn't get there. And that will be the first hit of the night, as that'll bring up Dylan Chiaro. Chiaro, who's not had an official at bat yet, does have a walk. As Chiaro has a runner on first base, nobody out. And Kester going right back to work. So, Brendan Kester has to face the top of the order with a runner on first base. Not the toughest challenge he's had. He walked the first 2 batters in the game and managed to make his way out of that first inning. The windup of the pitch. Faked the bunt there. 1-0 count. 1 ball, no strikes. As that'll bring some curiosity here from the third baseman who comes in on the infield grass. See if Chiaro tries to lay down that bunt yet again. It appears as though he's going to. That bat continues to swing forward. As we'll see. He shows bunt again. Pulls it back one more time. 2-0. So, interesting approach by Kester as he continues to work around the bunt. You would figure that you might throw something either high in the zone to try to get the pop-up, or throw it straight down the middle, let him play the bunt out and make the out. That one's popped up, chasing after it, but not going to get there in time, is the Pioneers catcher, as Moskowitz just lost it in the sun. I'll tell you what, the sun has been rather ruthless here to the catching staffs here in today's afternoon affair. So, once again, Pioneers going back to work here. Looking out. Brendan Kester. 2 balls, 1 strike count as he checks the runner over on first. And again, 2 ball, 1 strike count towards home plate. We'll see if Chiaro tries to throw out that bunt again after popping it up there on his last attempt. Kester looks back. He winds, deals. Bunt is laid down. Thrown by Moskowitz over to first. No! Moskowitz got cut off there by Preston Moore, jumping to avoid Moskowitz, and that sacrificed the out. So, Chiaro will reach, as again, we'll see if that one's ruled a hit or an error. Could go either way, as that'll bring up Brennan Chisholm, whose brother now stands on second base. And again, Pioneers in some early trouble here. Nobody on, or excuse me, 2 men on, nobody out. And they do rule that a hit. So a bunt single for the runner down at first base. Another attempted sacrifice here by Brennan Chisholm. Chisholm, the second batter in the batting order, squared around a bunt there as well. We'll see if he chooses to do so here again. Geneva going to manufacture runs, it looks like. As Kester comes back set. He winds, delivers. The attempted bunt is fouled off, so they're going to send the runner back to second base. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. As again, Kester heads back to the hill. Brennan Chisholm trying to move the runners along. Would love to put runners at second and third. As he comes back set in the box, looking out. Both the man at first and third creeping in. As here's the bunt shown again. Hits the batter. And holding everybody back. They throw the bat over, and that's going to advance everybody. As Kester is very clear. He just threw the ball out. I'm not sure if we're going to see a warning here. It was clearly not intentional. He threw the ball, and as Chisholm moved to bunt, he was then hit by the pitch. And Dr. Emily going to come out and have a quick examination. But so Chisholm will be hit by the pitch. And obviously a scary situation. Appears to be okay. As Chisholm will go down to first base. I would have to check with somebody more experienced than I, but with the batter showing bunt and standing that way in the batter's box, would that not be a strike? Though it hit him. I'm not sure about the exact mechanics of it, but the bunt was shown, and as far as I could see, was not pulled back. But now we have a full load of bases here, so we'll see what happens. Glad to see everybody's okay, but as the bases are loaded, Kester now having to work harder. This one hit and hard, going back and out of here as the bases clearing grand slam hit by Brandon Cooper. And that one, a no-doubter over the Bully Hill Vineyard sign, as that will put Geneva up 4-0. So a grand slam by Brandon Cooper after the hit batter. And now Kester will go back to work with Trevor Rogers coming up to the dish. So, Rogers stepping in. Rogers 0 for 1 on the night. Certainly an impressive grand slam out of Dunn Field. The throw hit down the foul line. As now 3 hits in the top of the third, and the Pioneers now trail 4-0. Rogers stepping back in. He waits. As now the windup and the pitch. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still nobody out here in the top of the third. Nobody warming down in the bullpen either. So again, Kester comes back set. He winds and deals. Cut on, hit down the first base line, stopped by Derigi, and he will take the ball himself to make the first out of the inning. So Rogers goes down 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Alex Bibb. Bibb coming up. As after a little more digging, I was able to find Bibb on the Point Streak site. He was batting .500, now would be shrunk down to .333 after going 0 for 1 here today. See if the Pioneers can shrink it down to .250 and get him out of here in the top of the third. The windup and the pitch. Low, 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out as Kester trying to power his way through another half inning. Here in the top of the third inning, a 4-0 lead after that grand slam hit by Brandon Cooper. The windup, the pitch, cut on, hit out there towards center field, and the catch will be made by Sexton. And that will put Alex Bibb down to a .250 batting average, having gone just 1 for 4 on the season. Harrison Treble 0 for 1, struck out earlier against Kester. And that will bring him up yet again as the Pioneers try to make their way out of the top of the third. The windup and the pitch from Kester. In there for a strike, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike as Kester steps back in. Kester looking out. He winds and delivers. Cut on and fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. Kester 1 strike from getting out of it here. See what he can do. Kester comes back set. He winds and delivers. And fouled away again. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs as the Pioneers trying to close out the top of the third here. After 2 perfect innings, Kester tapped for a grand slam here in the third. And now trying to get out of it. The windup and the pitch. Down the first baseline and foul. As they'll have to do 0-2 one more time here. Kester gets a brand new ball. As he and Moskowitz try to get on the same page. Trying to make one more out. This time Harrison Treble standing in between them. And another trip back up to the plate. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled again. Treble staying alive. Treble creating quite a lot of trouble for the Elmira Pioneers here. As now another baseball thrown out to the pitcher on the mound. As Brendan Kester still trying to find that final strike. Kester comes back set. He winds and delivers. In there for strike 3, and down goes Treble. Treble goes down on strikes for the second time here tonight, and the Pioneers head back up to the plate. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixler.com at the end of 2.5. Geneva 4, Elmira 0. All right. Well, with that, the Pioneers certainly have their work cut out for them here. They come up for the bottom of the third. With the bottom third of the batting order coming up, it's going to be Turner, DeRigi, Buffington, as the Pioneers will have to solve Jacob Land. And they're going to have to do so quickly as Geneva just put up a 4 spot in the top of the third. The Red Wings have certainly had the Pioneers' numbers here this season, and that has continued here into the doubleheader. Turner stepping back up. He looks out. The windup and the pitch from Land. In there for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. As again, Turner waits. The pitch cut on, hit towards the first baseman. picked up there, and he is out at first base. Turner with the ground out. That'll bring up Brennan Derigi. Derigi, who is batting $133 this season, 6 for 45, will step up to the plate. As I said, the Pioneers trailing 4-0 here in the bottom of the third. And again, with this shortened game, the time for comebacks is fairly slim. As the windup and the pitch, cut on, popped up. This one going right out towards the left fielder, and on one pitch, there's the second out. Derigi flies out to left field. That'll bring up Quinn Buffington. Quinn Buffington heading for the dish. As again, the Pioneers moving very quickly through this batting order here in the bottom of the third. See if Buffington can extend the inning. Buffington looking out. He waits, land winds, delivers. In there for ball one, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes here in the bottom of the third. 2 outs. Buffington and the Pioneers have yet to put a hit into play. As again, the windup and the pitch from Land. Cut on and foul down the line. Trying to get there was Rogers. He's just 2 steps short. So Buffington stays alive. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As Jacob Land gets the ball back. And Buffington goes back to work in the right-handed batter's box. Buffington looking. He waits. Land comes set. Winds and delivers. In there for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pioneers trying to keep the bottom of the third alive. As the pitch is in there for a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Downs showdown as the Pioneers try to keep this inning alive. Remind you, Tioga Downs not only a great place to game, great place to eat. As that is ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Check out Tioga Downs buffet any day of the week. As again, 3-2 count, 2 outs. Buffington trying to extend this inning, 1 more hitter. As the windup and the pitch from Jacob Land, cut on, ground ball towards the shortstop. As Buffington running, and he is in time. Buffington reaches first as he guts it out, and Buffington will achieve the first hit of the night. So Andrew Sexton will head up to the dish. See if he can make some more moves here. Quinn Buffington, all heart on that one as he ran it out. So here comes Sexton up to the plate. Jacob Land thought he had closed the inning out. So Land comes back set. He winds and delivers. Bounces one up. 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes as Andrew Sexton looking to go back to work. Signs coming from the third base coach, Matt Birch. As again, Sexton waits. The wind and the pitch as Buffington's going. Swung on there by Sexton, and Buffington has stolen a base. So Quinn Buffington trying to be a spark plug for this Pioneers offense. As a 1 ball, 1 strike count comes up here against the leadoff hitter, Andrew Sexton. Sexton has struck out already here tonight. The windup and the pitch. In there for strike 2 on the inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Pioneers trailing 4-0. As Buffington takes his lead from second base. Sexton looking. The windup, the pitch. Fouled back up and towards the broadcast area. Remind you once again to make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. So the Pioneers going back to work here. Jacob Land comes back set. He winds and deals. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Down showdown. As again, Pioneers trying to get the tying run up to the plate. Still have a couple of batters to do so, as Sexton looking to stay alive. Here in the bottom of the third. Land comes back set. He checks on Buffington back at second. Winds and delivers. Cut on and missed as Sexton strikes out for the second time here in this game. And that will do it for the bottom of the third for the Pioneers. When we come back, Pioneers head back to the field. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right. So Brendan Kester gets stretched out yet again as we head for the top of the fourth. Pioneers trailing 4-0. And that'll bring up Ryan Galaney. Galaney, Hojanaki, and Ronan Chisholm to lead things off here in the top of the fourth as Kester will do his best to keep things moving. Kester wants to put these guys down in order and get his Pioneers back up and get the bats moving here in the bottom of the fourth. But before that, you got to get through the top. Kester throws one in there for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. As again, Elmira's pitcher, Brendan Kester, going back to work. The windup and the pitch. In there for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. As again, Kester comes back set. He winds and deals. In there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike as Kester trying to get himself calmed back down. Obviously, the grand slam puts a lot of adrenaline into a pitcher and you start questioning yourself, but Kester has come right back down and really made a solid outing there after giving up the grand slam. 2 balls, 2 strikes, as now he's going to look for that put-away pitch. Kester kicking off the dirt on the mound. Trying to get Galaney yet again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. As again, Kester coming set. He goes back, winds and deals. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. As again, the windup and the pitch from Kester popped up right back behind second base. The right fielder coming in and making the catch, Quinn Buffington. As Galaney goes down 0 for 2. That'll bring up Seth Hojanaki. Hojanaki stepping up 0 for 1. As once again, Kester straddles the mound. He comes back set, winds and delivers. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. 4-0 lead for the Geneva Red Wings as the Pioneers working here in the top of the fourth. So the windup and the pitch from Kester is in there for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. As again, the Pioneers going right back to work here. The windup and the pitch from Kester in there for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out. As Kester trying to settle himself down. The windup and the pitch in there for ball 4. 4 straight pitches for balls. And the Pioneers pitching staff struggling once again. As Ronan Chisholm comes in. Chisholm, so far 1 for 1 on the night, has a runner on first base now. As Chisholm steps in. The windup here from Kester is in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. As Kester goes back to work. Staring in. As Ronan Chisholm trying to move around Hojanaki. The pitch in there for a strike, thrown down to second base. The ball bounces away out towards center field, and that will allow Hojanaki to safely sit at second base. So Ronan Chisholm trying to keep things going for Geneva, as once again, Kester 0-2 the count now. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As Kester going right back to work. The windup and the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. As again, Chiaro waits on deck. He's 1 for 1 and has a base on balls here today. Chisholm trying to keep his day going. He's 1 for 1 on the day so far. As again, the windup and the pitch. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And Kester trying to find that put-away pitch. It's eluded him so far here tonight. Got through the first 2 innings perfectly. Gave up a grand slam in the last half inning in the 3rd. And now here in the top of the 4th, having some trouble with the put-away pitch. Kester comes set, he winds, delivers. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Cannot get Ronan Chisholm to chase. As again, Kester comes back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on, hit out towards right field. Buffington backing up a few steps, makes the grab, throws in, and cut off by the shortstop as Brody Moore makes the grab. So 1 for 2 goes Chisholm, and that'll bring up Dylan Chiaro. Chiaro 1 for 1, has a base on balls, and a single on a bunt. Chiaro singled on a bunt a little bit earlier in the afternoon, as he would be putting runners on first and second before a Brennan Chisholm hit by pitch would result in the bases loaded before the grand slam by Brandon Cooper. So Chiaro waits. As again, going back to work here. The pitch cut on and missed as Kester continues to try to work out of the 4th inning. Trying to keep things going. As I said, these shortened games by the doubleheader tend to be an interesting style as far as how you manage your bullpen. As Kester looks in, he winds and delivers. In there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 count. 2 outs as Kester tries to get out of the second straight inning where he's had a little bit of trouble. As again, Kester looking back. He winds and delivers. In there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As Kester needs just 1 more strike to get out of this half of the inning and bring the Pioneers back to the plate. Kester set on the mound. He winds and delivers. In there for strike 3, and Kester gets the punch out on Chiaro. Chiaro moves to 1 for 2 on the day with the base on balls. The Pioneers head for the bottom half of the inning and will be looking to catch things up. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right. And with that, the Pioneers are back, trailing 4-0. Just 1 hit on the game. That one belongs to Quinn Buffington. That'll bring up Brody Moore. Moore, 0 for 1 on the night so far, as he will face Jacob Land yet again. The wind and pitch from Land. Outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, as the Pioneers go back to work here in the bottom of the 4th. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. As again, the Pioneers' Brody Moore stepping back in. Jacob Land looks in. As Land comes back set, he winds and delivers. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Starting to see some movement down in the Pioneers bullpen. As we'll see how much longer we will see the Kentucky pitcher, Brendan Kester, out there. As Land comes set, he winds and delivers. In there for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. 3-1 the count. As again, Brody Moore awaits the pitch, the windup, and high, ball 4. Brody Moore will take a walk as he heads down to first, which brings up Preston Moore. Moore had a double earlier on today, also drove in a run. As Brody, just the second batter to reach base. The first one was Quinn Buffington. As Preston Moore trying to advance Brody Moore, no relation, around the base paths. So Preston waiting. The windup from Land, having to work out the stretch, rather foreign to him here. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. No hits so far as just the walk to Brody Moore. As Moore runs back to first. So, we'll see it again. Preston Moore stands waiting in the batter's box. Jacob Land very concerned with that runner over on first base. Brody Moore with a significant lead. The pitch is high. 2 balls, no strikes. So, Brody Moore looking out as he steps off of first base, taking his lead. Preston Moore stepping back in. As again, the look over from Land. The pitch connected on, hit out towards the shortstop. Takes a weird hop, getting to second base in time to get Brody Moore, as Moore will reach on a fielder's choice. That'll bring up Kyle Richardson. Richardson 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far in today's game. So, 1 out. Runner on first base here in the bottom of the 4th. Pioneers with just 11 offensive outs remaining need to step up the hitting here. Only 1 hit in the game so far. As Richardson looks out, the wind, the pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. So we've already discussed back in game 1 the liberal strike zone that the home plate umpire giving to both sides here. It's been the one thing you always ask for out of any officiating is consistency, and he has definitely given us consistency. As again, Jacob Land comes set, the wind, the pitch, in there for a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. So Kyle Richardson has just 1 strike left available to him. As now Jacob Land steps off of the pitcher's mound. Kyle Richardson will set back up. And this time, Preston Moore taking a very short lead off. And now a balk, as that's going to move Preston Moore to second base. So, second base umpire did not like the movement from the pitcher, called the balk, and immediately moved Preston Moore over to second base. So, still arguing with the second base umpire there. As, again, this will send things back to home plate. Now a different situation. No balls, 2 strikes, and a runner in scoring position as Preston Moore stands on second base. Moskowitz ready to go as Jacob Land comes back set. As again, the windup, the pitch, outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So, Preston Moore certainly getting into the head of the pitcher Jacob Land, who, as I've said, has not had much of a reason to work out of the stretch here today. The windup and the pitch hits the batter as Kyle Richardson will be hit by the pitch and put runners on first and second with 1 out. That brings up Bryce Moskowitz as he heads for the dish. Excuse me, Nathan Berg. I skipped the spot in my lineup as Nathan Berg heads for the plate. I apologize, fans, as Berg today 0 for 1, did strike out earlier, had a much better game earlier on as Berg steps back in. The windup and the pitch in there for a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. Second baseman held on to second base on the lead runner, and the first baseman playing just a little bit off first. So big gap there as Berg will launch one towards center field. This one is caught easily, and Preston Moore will go back to second base, not wanting to take a chance. So Berg goes down 0 for 2. Now that'll bring up Bryce Moskowitz, the catcher, as the Pioneers have runners on first and second, trailing 4-0, and still only have 1 hit in the ball game. So Moskowitz stepping in. As again, big gap to the right-hand side as the second and first baseman holding on their respective runners. Jacob Land winds and deals. That one is called time. So The umpire not happy about the music playing over the at-bat. As again, Moskowitz steps back in. Jacob Land coming back set. He winds and delivers high. 1 ball, no strikes. As again, Moskowitz steps back in. Land looking back at the runner at second, winds, delivers, and in there for a strike. Moskowitz knees buckling on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. No, and two men out. Nobody crossing the plate as of yet. Pioneers still trailing 4-0 off of that grand slam home run cut on there by Moskowitz and fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As again, Moskowitz waiting in the batter's box. Runners on first and second. First excellent chance for the Pioneers here to score. Last time was Quinn Buffington standing on second as Sexton was up there. He would go down on strikes. That one outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A Tioga down showdown. As again, Moskowitz looking to get a hit here. The windup and the pitch inside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Count is now full with 2 outs. Pioneers, chance to put a ball in play or take a walk to move runners to load the bases. Anything but a strikeout here. As Moskowitz comes back set. The windup and the pitch. Low, ball 4, and the runners advance. Moskowitz takes a walk, and Zach Turner comes up 0 for 1 on the day. So we'll see what Zach Turner can do here. As again, any type of base hit will bring a run in, at least 1. As now Jacob Land going to get a talk from his pitching coach. As again, nobody showing any signs of working out down in the Geneva bullpen. Same cannot be said for the Pioneers bullpen. As again, Turner, who since joining the team has had 1 hit in 9 at-bats. 1 in 10 now, so he's batting an even 100. He has appeared, this is his 4th game, his 3rd game that he started in. As Jacob Land coming back out. Bottom of the 4th inning. Land coming set. Moves into motion and delivers. In there for a strike, 0-1. Land looking back down as he begins his windup. The pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Zach Turner, the number 7 batter in the lineup, trying to work his way through this at-bat. Would love to find an open stretch of land to hit it to. The windup from Land, delivery, cut on there by Turner, driven there towards right center. That one is hanging up, and that will be caught by the center fielder. So with the bases loaded, Turner goes down, and the Pioneers head for the top of the 5th. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, so we've got a brand new pitcher on the mound. Connor Takis heads for the bump on the hill, and he is coming in a rough shape. 1 win, 2 losses, 10.32 ERA, 6 games played, 1 start, 11.1 innings, 21 hits, 15 runs, 13 earned, 7 bases on balls, and 11 strikeouts. So certainly trying to get the ERA down and get things working here this summer. It's been a tough stretch for him. Shadow's going to start coming into play as it gets later and later into the day as we hear about the 6 o'clock hour as Takis winds and delivers as that one, a little bit of a bouncer there over the head of Moskowitz, but they throw down to second, and now the Pioneers will go back to work here in the top of the 5th. So they need 9 more outs against the Geneva Red Wings lineup. They have 9 more outs to get themselves back into this game, trailing by just 4. So this will bring up Brendan Chisholm. Chisholm, yet to have an official at bat, has a base on balls, was hit by a pitch. The lineup and pitch from Takis. In there for ball 1, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, as the Pioneers trying to get through the top half of the 5th as quickly as possible. Takis throws. 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. So not the way he wanted to start coming into this one. Stepping back in, Brennan Chisholm. The windup and the pitch. Inside, 3 balls, no strikes. As Takis going back to work here. 3-0. The windup and the pitch. High, ball 4, so the second base on balls to Brennan Chisholm. That'll bring up Brandon Cooper. Cooper 1 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice, has a grand slam home run. We'll see what he can do here. Cooper hit a no-doubter over that Bully Hill Vineyard sign for a grand slam. As now Takis will be looking to get him to do anything but that. As that's in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Pioneers still looking for their first out of the top of the 5th inning. The throw over is not in time as Drigi places the tag. So Takis comes back set on the mound. Looks in, winds, and delivers. That one's in there for strike 2. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Connor trying to work his way through the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Brandon Cooper. As Takis looks over to first, he throws over. And again, not in time. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Takis comes back set. Winds up, delivers, cut on, popped up in the air. And this should be playable for Quinn Buffington. He makes the catch, and that will bring up Trevor Rogers. Rogers 0 for 2 here in tonight's game. As again, Geneva keeping a lead 4-0 over the Elmira Pioneers. Pioneers have just 1 hit in the ball game. That hit coming from the number 9 hitter, Quinn Buffington, who's out there in right field. He's certainly been busy in this one. So, coming up, Trevor Rogers, 0 for 2 here in the top of the 5th. The windup and the pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. Pioneers would like nothing more than a ground ball double play that they could turn. They've had a little bit of a rough time turning the double plays here today. But get out of this inning and get themselves back up to the plate. The windup, the pitch, runner is off and going. Throw is off the bag, so it pulls off Brody Moore. As again, another stolen base. As again, the Pioneers having to go to work, Trevor Rogers, 0 for 2, has a ball and a strike on him now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A Tioga Down showdown. As we remind you one more time, Tioga Downs is not only a great place to play, an amazing place to stay. Check out the resort at Tioga Downs. Pitches outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. As again, Trevor Rogers trying to get his team going. Has the runner on second base, so a runner in scoring position. The windup and the pitch, as that's fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As again, Connor Takis trying to work his way through the top of the 5th. Only 1 inning where we saw any run scored. That was the top of the 3rd. Takis waiting. Takis comes back set. He winds and delivers. Swung on and missed. And down goes Rogers on strikes. As that'll bring up Alex Bibb. Bibb, the right fielder, 0 for 2. Very little success here. As Bibb coming back out. Talked about it earlier. He is batting .250 now. As Bibb steps in. Takis looking for 1 more out to get out of this top half of the 5th. The windup of the pitch. High, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. As Connor comes back to the mound. He sets. Checks the runner back at second. Winds and delivers. That one inside, apparently. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 count as Takis trying to make his way through. He comes back set, looking back out at the second base. Winds and delivers. Cut on and fouled back. 2 balls, 1 strikes. Want to remind you again that Marion Decker Insurance has been helping people in Elmira for over 34 years. Shouldn't you have an ace in the bullpen? Call 607-734-1100 and protect yourself today. Takis comes back set. The windup. Oh, he swung off and went back towards second base. Nobody was there to make the play, though, so unable to get that done as Takis comes back set on the mound. Checking that runner again. Winds, delivers. High again. 3 balls, 1 strike. Another reminder that tomorrow Pioneers Camp opens. If you want your son or daughter to learn from the Pioneers, assistant coach Andrew Drum and many of the Pioneers players will be available from 10 a.m. till noon for Pioneers Camp July 1st and 2nd. Takis winds up, delivers. In there for a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes, all the way back. As Takis going back to work, trying to keep Bibb over today. Bibb 0 for 2 so far. Takis looking in, has his sign, comes back set out on the mound. He winds and delivers as that one cut on and the tag is made. So strikeout and tag out as that will do it for the top half of the 5th. The Pioneers coming up to bat in the bottom half, trailing 4-0. The Pioneers looking to get themselves back in it. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixler.com. All right, fans, and we are back live from historic Dunn Field as the Elmira Pioneers going to be looking to get themselves into the run column. Just one hit so far, that one hit coming from Quinn Buffington, who will bat second in the order tonight. So, coming up next will be Brennan DeRigi. DeRigi is 0 for 1 on the night. Then will come Quinn Buffington, and it'll flip the roster back over. Andrew Sexton will be the third batter in the order. Here in the bottom of the fifth, Pioneers have 9 offensive outs remaining as they attempt to try to climb their way back into this one. See what they can do here. DeRigi heads for the plate. So, DeRigi stepping in. He waits. He's now completely covered by that shadow. As the windup and the pitch from Land, cut on and popped foul. 0-1 will be the count. Remind you again, make the right decision. Insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. As DeRigi stepping right back in. He looks out. As Land comes back set. Land winds, delivers. Fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes. As we remind you again, for all of your automotive needs, insist on Gerber Collision and Auto Glass. As again, DeRigi waits, the windup, the pitch, cut on and fouled back a third time. As the Pioneers continue to try to find ways on base, Brennan DeRigi looking to put a ball in play and work himself around. DeRigi certainly has some speed to him. As the pitch is way outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2, the Pioneers have had a couple of base runners tonight. Brody Moore reached on a base on ball. Bryce Moskowitz reached on a base on ball. That one chopped and over the pitcher's head into center field. So the second hit of the night for Brennan DeRigi. First of the night for him, second for the Pioneers, excuse me. Quinn Buffington will come up. Buffington 1 for 1. As the Pioneers looking to put men on and bring them home. You see the flag way out there in center field blowing straight out, so anything hit should carry a little bit. As the throw over on DeRigi is not in time. Jacob Land gets very, very concerned with base runners, something the Pioneers can use to their advantage as DeRigi stands on first. The windup and the pitch cut on by Buffington for a strike, 0-1. So, no runs, 2 hits on the Pioneers stat line, 4 runs on 3 hits up on the Geneva stat line. Has not been a good hitting game, but if you like pitching and defense, you've seen your share. The pitch is taken and getting in there, but not in time, was DeRigi. So DeRigi caught stealing, and now Buffington is up there, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. As we have another Tioga Down showdown. As again, Buffington waits. The wind of the pitch. In there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. As Buffington trying to keep the inning alive and going. Sexton will come up regardless. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts here tonight. The windup and the pitch. In there for a strike. Buffington goes down on strikes. And that'll bring up Andrew Sexton. Sexton 0 for 2 here today. Has 2 strikeouts so far. So Sexton coming up to the dish. He will bat left-handed here. As he and Land go mano-a-mano one more time. Third trip through the order as the Pioneers start off the top of the order here. That one bounces up. 1 ball, no strikes. Pioneers have struggled against Geneva this season. The offense seemed to come in quite a bit as the road trip went on. Then they got to Geneva completely, as Geneva walked away with a 16-2 victory. Swing and a miss by Andrew Sexton. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 5th, Pioneers trying to get something going. They trail by just 4 runs. The windup and the pitch, cut on and connected by Sexton. Pop into foul territory. The third baseman encroaching in on it, and he's got it. That will do it for the Pioneers half of the 5th. We played 5 full, 4-0 in favor of Geneva as we head back out to the field. Your Pioneers trailing by 4. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, and the Pioneers getting ready for inning number 6. Top half of the inning coming around here as, again, Connor Takis back out here. He will begin pitching as coming up to the dish going to be Harrison Treble. So Treble waiting out there as finishing up some in-between inning activities. The kids run just finishing up here. Don't forget, every Pioneers home game, your child can run the bases just like your favorite Pioneer. As again, Tack is set out there on the mound. As now the crowd giving a round of applause to the final kid to make it all the way through. As there we are. And now we're ready to get back to baseball here in the top of the 6th. Pioneers need 6 defensive outs. They've got 6 offensive outs as they're looking to get back into this one. The windup and the pitch bounces back behind Moskowitz. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. As Treble up to the dish. He's 0 for 2 on the day, 2 strikeouts. See if the Pioneers can keep him right there. As Connor Takis working a second inning of relief out of the pen. Nobody down in the bullpen for the Pioneers. The windup and pitch, cut on, hit out there towards center, and Sexton's not going to get there. That will bounce on him, and it's going all the way back to the warning track. Treble rounding second, heading for third. And again, throw down is not in time. Treble will triple. Well, I believe they'll call it a single and an error on the passed ball, as that was a poorly played ball out there in center by Sexton. As I'm just going to check in with the official score. Yep. All right. Single and then the error. So Ryan Galaney comes up 0 for 2. Runner on third. As again, the offense plays preventative defense here. Pioneers standing at the edge of the grass. Galaney takes ball 1. 1-0, nobody out, runner on third base. The Pioneers trying to keep the game within reach here. 4-0 lead for the Geneva Red Wings. Galaney 0 for 2 here. He's a number 7 hitter. In there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, we're here in the top of the 6th of a 7-inning game here due to the doubleheader. Takis comes set, winds and delivers. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. As again, Pioneers pitching, having to do extra duty here. Second work out of the bullpen for Takis. The pitch, high, 3 balls, 1 strike. Nobody down in the pen as of right now. So it's Takis' inning here in the top of the 6th. Takis comes set. The windup and the pitch. In there for strike 2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count for Connor Takis. As now we'll see what he can do. Takis trying to tuck himself back into his uniform. As again, comes back set. He will wind and deliver. Cut on right through the middle of the infield. That's going to plate another run. And that will score Harrison Treble. As Galaney goes 1 for 3. Has the RBI. And that'll bring up Seth Hojanaki. Hojanaki 0 for 1. Base on balls. As Hojanaki comes up to the dish 0 for 1. Fielders will return to their normal playing positions as runner at first. Doesn't need the overly defensive play. 5-0 in favor of the Geneva Red Wings right now. Takis comes set, winds, delivers, bounces one up. 1-0. Still nobody out. Runner on first base as the Pioneers trying to make their way through this one. The games against Geneva have been difficult, to say the least. So, Takis coming back set. He winds and delivers. Cut on, popped up here to right center, and making the grab is Buffington. It slips out of his glove. Now he's lost it, and that is unfortunate. So, catch is not made. No argument coming from the management of the Pioneers, and another run moves into scoring position. 5-0 here for Geneva as they achieve another hit, as that will bring up Ronan Chisholm. Chisholm 1 for 2 on the day. The first pitch is in there for a strike. So, still nobody warming up down in the pen. As with runners on first and second, Ronan Chisholm up to the dish. Takis comes set. The wind, the pitch. Low again. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Takis heads back out to the mound. Pioneers trying to find a way to get out of this inning and get themselves back up to the plate. Giving up another run here in the top half of the 6th. Wind up here from Takis and swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. As again, this is the number 9 batter in the lineup. After him, it'll flip back over to Dylan Chiaro. So, Chiaro standing on deck. Ronan Chisholm waiting for his 1-2 pitch. The windup, the pitch. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 as the Pioneers continue to try to work their way through the top of the 6th inning. Giving up a run already. As Connor Takis waits on the mound. Has his sign. Checks the runner back at second. Winds and delivers. Cut on right back to Takis. Bounces off his glove. The shortstop was headed for second. That will load the bases. As again, Pioneers defense leaving something to be desired. So nobody out. Top of the order coming up. Catcher heads out to have a word with Takis. Chiaro coming up 1 for 2 with a base on balls. Still no one warming up in the pen, as it's going to be Takis' 6th inning to deal with. As again, more conversation here between the catcher, the shortstop, and the pitcher. As Elmira trying to find their way through this game, trying to keep it within striking distance. They have 2 half innings of their own to be able to come up to the plate. Now we're starting to see somebody head down towards that bullpen area, as we'll see who it is momentarily. So, appears to be Stephen Rossi heading down there, as Takis winds and delivers. Cut on, popped up there into shallow center right field. That's going to drop in between everybody. Should score the run. As stepping on third base for a first out. Pioneers allow the run, but do get an out. As a good play there by the outfield to at least get that one. So, once again, been a rough one as the Pioneers continue to struggle. But now that'll bring up Brennan Chisholm, who's yet to have had an official at bat. 2 bases on balls, a hit by pitch. He's stolen a base. But again, no official at bat as of right now. The windup in the pitch from Takis, low, 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. As Stephen Rossi gets loose in the bullpen. Takis getting set, back on the mound. 1-0 count. The wind and the pitch. High, 2 balls, no strikes. Rossi getting himself loose. Still no action in the Geneva bullpen. It appears as though they're going to stick with Land as long as he can go. So, again, Takis coming back set. 2 runs have scored here in the top of the 6th. The wind, the pitch, in there for a strike, thrown down to first, and managed to keep the ball in front of him, did Derigi, as that throw was a little bit wild. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. So, stepping back in, Takis on the mound. 2-1. Takis comes set. Checks the runner, winds and deals. In there for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. As Chisholm, again, worked 2 bases on balls so far, was hit by a pitch. And again, the Pioneers battling through another inning. We've said it a lot against this Geneva Red Wings team. Pioneers have just not been able to find control. That one's cut on, hit out there towards the left fielder, and the play is made and thrown quickly back in as the Pioneers finally get the second out of the inning on the fly ball from Brennan Chisholm. That'll bring up Brandon Cooper. Brandon Cooper, who has a grand slam today. Not something you can say too often here at historic Dunn Field. So, once again, Cooper coming up 1 for 3. Reached on a fielder's choice, had a grand slam home run, and now has 2 runners on. Takis coming set. The wind, the pitch. Outside, bouncing away from the catcher, but not far enough. That'll keep the runners on first and second base. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. As again, Cooper waiting in there. He looks. Takis comes set. The wind, the pitch. Cut on and missed by Cooper. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 count. As the Pioneers trying to get out of this top of the 6th. As again, Takis waiting. Got his sign. He checks the runner back at second. Berg heads back. The play is at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. As again, Pioneers looking to get back to the offensive side of things as a 6-0 lead here in the top of the 6th. They wind up in the pitch. Bounced up to the plate. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. As again, just having some trouble, really fighting with the ball is Connor Takis. Stephen Rossi continuing to warm down in the bullpen. Would assume we'll probably see him for the top of the 7th at the very least. Takis comes set. He winds, delivers, cut on, hit hard towards center field, going back and off the wall. This is going to score 1 as coming around third and stopping there, 2nd and 3rd. So a double from Brandon Cooper to add to his grand slam now gives him 5 RBIs on the day. That'll bring up Trevor Rogers. Rogers 0 for 3 as head coach Matt Birch heads for the mound. Matt Birch going for the mound, and this, I believe, is going to do it for the day of Connor Takis. So we'll see as Birch now takes the ball, and they signal for Stephen Rossi. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, so Stephen Rossi enters the game. Numbers on Rossi, 14.46 ERA, 1 win, 1 loss, 6 games. He's appeared in 9.1 innings, 11 hits, 15 runs, all of them earned, 13 bases on balls, and 7 strikeouts. So, after the double by Brandon Cooper, going 2 for 4, grand slam and a double, worth 6 RBIs today. So, 2 outs, 7-0 lead in favor of the Geneva Red Wings, and the Pioneers trying to find their way back up to home plate. It's been a rough one. As again, the Pioneers really, aside from the grand slam, had worked a pretty good 5 innings. And now here in the 6th, they've given up 3, have 2 more runners in scoring position with 2 men out, as Stephen Rossi tries to make his final out of the 6th and then hold on into the 7th. See what the Pioneers can do here. As again, Rossi is set to go. That brings up Trevor Rogers. Rogers 0 for 3 on the day, as Elmira has sunken in here just a little bit. Lost to Geneva on on Friday. Were rained out yesterday. And now today, suffered a loss in game 1. Foul ball back there, 0-1. Losing 7-0 in game 2. Pioneers need something to get excited about. As again, 7-0 lead right now for the Geneva Red Wings. So the windup and the pitch here from Stephen Rossi. High and outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As Rossi going to put the finishing touches on the 6th inning of work here. Rossi waits. The wind and the pitch. Cut on, ground ball past the second baseman. That's going to score both runs and make it a 9-0 lead for the Geneva Red Wings. So a perfect single there for Rogers, who earns himself a couple of ribbies as he goes 1 for 4. And that'll bring up Alex Bibb. Bibb 0 for 3 on the day as Rossi comes right back. And the Pioneers trying to find themselves a very quick way to get to the bottom of the 6th. Tell you what, this 6th inning has gone on quite a while. 5 runs scored in this inning. The windup and the pitch from Rossi. Cut on and missed. 0-1 the count. 9-0 the score. As again, Bibb stepping back in. Looks out at Rossi. The windup and the pitch. In there for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As the Pioneers trail 9-0 here. Stat line reads Elmira 0 runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors. The Geneva Red Wings 9 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Cut on and hit out into the outfield. And again, Geneva has runners at first and second. Bibb gets his first hit of the ball game here. Moves to 1 for 4 on the day, and that will bring up Harrison Treble. Treble 1 for 3. 2 strikeouts. As again, Treble goes back to work. 5 runs have scored, 2 men sit on. We've now officially batted around the order as Treble pops one up and into foul territory. Remind you to make the right decision. Insist on Gerber collision. As we have batted around the order here, as Treble back up. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch in there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Treble coming back up to the dish. Steven Rossi trying to get through this one. The pitch outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. So Rossi steps back on the mound. He waits. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another Tioga Downs showdown as the Pioneers try to push their way out of the 6th inning one more time. Rossi comes back set. He looks in, winds, and deals. Cut on, popped up, and that one's going to get into the parking lot. Remind you once again, make the right decision. Insist on Gerber collision and auto glass. So, one more chance here for Treble. Coming set. The wind and the pitch. And that one swung on. No, they say he didn't go. So that one's a ball, apparently. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As now Rossi. One last pitch here. One will be decisive either way. Rossi winds, delivers, everybody off and going. Grounded towards the second baseman and through the second baseman. This is going to score 1. And that will be it. As the runners will be at the corners, first and third. As Treble goes 2 for 4. Both hits coming here in the 6th inning. As he earns an RBI as well. And that'll bring up Ryan Galaney. So Galaney 1 for 3. Pioneers' second baseman beating himself up out there. That's Nathan Berg. As again, Rossi comes back set on the mound. He winds, delivers, cut on and missed. 0-1 the count as Galaney steps back in. So it's a 10-0 game as that one is in there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. a 6-run top of the 6th for the Geneva Red Wings. The windup and the pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As the Pioneers just trying to work themselves into the bottom half of the inning. So Galaney looks out at Rossi. Rossi comes back set, winds and delivers. Swung on, fouled down the third base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes, one more time. So now again, somebody down in that Pioneers bullpen working themselves out. See if we might get a new pitcher here at some point as Rossi comes back set. He winds, delivers, swung on and missed, and Rossi finally gets the Pioneers out of the inning. Galaney goes 1 for 4. And with that, we head to the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. All right, well, the Pioneers will be heading back to the plate. It's going to be Brody Moore to start things off, as he will look to get the inning started. Pioneers trailing 10-0 here. They've only given up 10 hits, but every one of those hits turned into a run. As now again, it appears as though Jacob Land going to keep pitching. He's got a shutout going so far. And I'm aware that it is bad luck to say it when it's going on, but you know what? Pioneers need the run, as we'll try to jinx it as much as we can. So looking to get that shutout off of the books starts with Brody Moore. Moore stepping back in as the Pioneers have 6 offensive outs remaining. And between those, they still have to get another 3 outs on Geneva. The pitch inside 1-0. So, Pios down 10-0 as Brody Moore, Preston Moore waits on deck. Brody takes a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. So, Brody Moore coming back set. He looks out, the windup and the pitch. Swung on and hit out towards right center. That's going to get down. So Brody Moore starts it off the right way with a single. As again, the Pioneers trying to go back to work here. That'll bring up Preston Moore. Moore, 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice. As now we'll see what Brody has in store on the base pass. Preston stepping into the batter's box. Jacob Land winds, deals, cut on by Preston, and strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. As Preston Moore steps back in. Kyle Richardson to follow. The windup and the pitch. Cut on again, fouled back. And no balls, 2 strikes. As again, Preston Moore down 0-2. Brody Moore standing on first base. See if Brody decides to try to make a scramble for it. As again, The windup here from Jacob Land. In there for a strike, and that will do it for Preston Moore. He goes 0 for 3. As that'll bring up Kyle Richardson. Richardson 0 for 1, struck out, and was hit by a pitch. So Richardson comes up to the dish. Brody Moore still standing on first base. As the Pioneers trying to break the shutout. The line, the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. As again, stepping back in. Richardson looking for a way to put a ball through the infield or deep into the outfield if he could. 2 balls, no strikes. Brody Moore still over there on first base. Had a hit here tonight. Because of that hit, he stands on first. He waits. Jacob Land coming back set. He winds and delivers. High, thrown down to first quickly and not in time. So a 3-0 count here to Kyle Richardson. As Richardson waits on the next pitch. Richardson looking out. The wind, the pitch. High, ball 4. So 4 straight pitches move Brody Moore down to second. Kyle Richardson down to first on a base on balls. That'll bring up Nathan Berg. Berg 0 for 2. Struck out and flew out here tonight. See what he can do. This time up at the dish. Runners on first and second. Pioneers trailing by 10. The windup and the pitch from Jacob Land. In there for a strike, 0-1. So, Berg waits on it. The pitch from Land. In there, low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, another tag down, showdown. As the Pioneers trying to answer back and at least score a run here in this game. Been a tough one to watch if you're a Pios fan. The windup and the pitch. In there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Berg going to have to be very defensive now. As Land checks back on the runner at second. Winds, delivers. Cut on there by Berg. Hit out towards right field. And that one is falling. The right fielder makes the grab. And that will keep the base runners right where they are. 2 quick outs. As that brings up Bryce Moskowitz. So Moskowitz 0 for 1 with a base on balls. Moskowitz going to be looking to put a ball anywhere he can. As again, there has been somebody working down in the bullpen. We'll see if they're going to come into this game. As again, Moskowitz waiting. Land coming back set. He winds and delivers. In there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. As again, Pioneers trying to put a run up on the board. That is 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pioneers have runners at first and second with 2 outs here. Bottom of the 6th of a 7-inning game. Pioneers trying to put up a crooked number for the first time in this second game. The windup and the pitch. In there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Moskowitz. Moskowitz now will have to play very defensive baseball here at the plate. The windup, the pitch, cut on, hit by Moskowitz down the left field line. Left fielder branching over and makes the grab. And that will do it for the bottom of the 6th inning. Moskowitz goes down 0 for 2. And that will send the Pioneers back to the field. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on Mixlr.com. All right, folks, we are back. There's going to be a brand new pitcher into the batting order as Mason Ruhlman heads back to the mound for the second time today. Mason Ruhlman, normally more known for his bat than his arm, but it'll be an interesting one to see how this plays out. So Ruhlman coming up as once again Ruhlman developing his pitching acumen now. I imagine here in the top of the seventh, Geneva has a 10-0 lead as Seth Hojanacki coming up. Ronan Chisholm to follow. Dylan Chiaro will be the third man due up. As again, hear the yelling from the supporters on the bench. You're dirty, as relates to a game the boys like to play on many road trips. So we'll leave that one at that, as once again, Pioneers pitcher Mason Ruhlman steps up and will try to get the Pioneers the last 3 outs they need defensively, and then turn it over to hopefully find some success in the offensive side as Ruhlman comes back set. Looks in at Hojanacki. The windup, the pitch, in there for a strike. 0-1. So Ruhlman comes back set. He's got the sign. The windup and the pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2. I'm not sure how many pitches Ruhlman has. As again, he goes back to work here. The windup and the pitch. Outside. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ruhlman looking for a strikeout here to add to his repertoire. The windup and the pitch. Fouled back up towards the booth. And that will keep the count 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As again, Ruhlman going right back out. Stands on the mound. He looks in. The wind and the pitch. Swung on right towards the second baseman. Picked up there by Berg. Thrown over to first. And a quick first out for the Elmira Pioneers reliever. That'll bring up Ronan Chisholm. Chisholm 1 for 2 on the night. Now we'll face Ruhlman here in the top of the 7th inning. Mason Ruhlman stepping back on the mound. Comes back set, winds and delivers. In there for a strike. So first pitch strikes, Ruhlman 2 for 2. As again, Ruhlman coming back set. He winds and delivers. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Another Tioga Down showdown. The pitch. In there again. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1 the count. The windup and the pitch. In there for a strike. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As the Pioneers try to muscle their way through the top of the 7th. The wind and pitch from Ruhlman. Cut on and missed. Ruhlman earns himself a K against Ronan Chisholm. And that will bring up Dylan Chiaro. Chiaro 2 for 3 with a base on balls. So it's been a rough one for the Pioneers, but they may get out of the defensive side of it relatively quickly here if they can knock down Chiaro. The wind, the pitch, and outside. First one that Ruhlman has missed strike number 1 on. So again, Ruhlman going right back to work. The wind, the pitch. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As the Pioneers trying to get back to the bottom half of the inning and putting up one more chance to bat. As again, Roman shakes off the sign. Now he's got the one he wants, winds and delivers. Cut on right towards the second baseman. Berg makes the grab, throws over to first, and that will do it. Roman with a perfect top of the seventh. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pioneers on Mixler.com, your home for Pioneers action all season long as the Pioneers trail 10-0. All right, and with that, Jacob Land comes back out. He's going for a shutout here, folks, as the Pioneers have not been able to touch him at all. That's going to bring up the bottom part of the order for your Elmira Pioneers. As coming out is Zach Turner. Turner 0 for 2 on the day. Pioneers looking to break the scoreless drought that they've had here in this 7-inning game, as this is the final chance for the Pios. Hoping to be here for a little while, folks, and get the Pioneers the W here tonight. So again, coming out, Zach Turner. He looks. First windup here from Jacob Land. He lets it rip. Turner takes ball 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. As Turner waits, the wind, the pitch, cut on and grounded up the middle, picked up by the shortstop, thrown over, and first out of the inning as Turner goes to 0 for 3. That'll bring up Brennan Derigi. Derigi, who's 1 for 2, but was caught stealing. Derigi heading up. He's a left-handed bat, so a little bit different look for Land here. As you didn't see the top of the batting order lined with lefties like we have in the recent winning streak. So we'll see what the Pioneers can do here. In the bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Derigi up to the dish. The windup and the pitch. Outside, 1-0. Jacob Land has pitched a stellar game. Only allowed 3 hits by the Pioneers. As the windup and the pitch. Low, 2-0. Land's arm has got to be getting tired here. Does have a base on balls. Couple of them here that he's given up. 3 of them, as a matter of fact, plus a hit by a pitch. And that's in there for a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls. 1 strike. As now time is called. Derigi steps back in the batter's box. The windup and the pitch from Land. Cut on and fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As we remind you again to make the right decision, insist on Gerber collision. So again, Derigi waiting. The windup and the pitch. Cut on and hit out there towards left. That one is against the wall, just foul. Hits the Elmira heat treating sign out there in left field. So Derigi will go back. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Trying to keep the inning going. Certainly got quite a lot on that one, but just trying to find his way on base. As now the windup and the pitch from Jacob Land is high. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Derigi still up there at the dish. He waits. 1 for 2 on the day. Was caught stealing. As the next pitch is in, cut on, hit hard, going back towards the wall, and hits the Bully Hill Vineyard sign. Derigi around into second base, and he will be in standing. So a nice hit there by Brennan Derigi, as that will bring up Quinn Buffington. Buffington comes up 1 for 2. He struck out, stole a base, as Buffington looks down for the sign. Derigi now in scoring position with 1 out, as the Pioneers try to break the shutout. See what they can do here. As Land comes back, checks the runner at second, winds and deals. High, 1-0. Buffington staring out. He's got his man Derigi standing at second base. The windup and the pitch. High, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. As now someone's starting to get warm down in the pen for Geneva. As now Land winds and delivers. High, 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. As again, the Pioneers trying to force their way back into this one. 3 balls, no strikes. As Buffington waits. The pitch inside. 4 straight balls. Buffington earns himself a walk. And that will bring up Andrew Sexton. Sexton, 0 for 2 on the day. 2 strikeouts. As again, he heads for the dish. And now we're going to see a chat here between pitcher and catcher. A ground ball could end it. The Pioneers hoping to see a long ball that puts some runs up on the board. Jacob Land wants to finish his game and earn his shutout. Pioneers doing everything in their power to prevent that from happening. So again, Sexton comes back up. He looks out. As again, Sexton waiting. Land comes set. Checks the runner at second. Winds and delivers. Low, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. Land looking in. Has his sign. Checks the runner back at second. Winds and delivers. Cut on. Popped right back up towards me in the broadcast area. Make the right decision. Insist on Gerber collision and auto glass. As again, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out count. Another Tioga Down showdown. As Sexton looking to get bad on ball. The windup and the pitch. High, 2 balls, 1 strike. So Land trying to work his way out here. So the windup and the pitch from Land is high, 3 balls, 1 strike, and 1 ball away from loading the bases with Brody Moore on deck. See what the Pioneers can do here. 4 runs in the third, 6 runs in the sixth for the Geneva Red Wings. As the wind and pitch in there for a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. As Sexton trying to keep the Pioneers alive here in this one. So, Sexton waiting. The windup and the pitch from Land. In there for strike 3. And down goes Andrew Sexton, striking out for the 3rd time tonight. As Brody Moore comes up, 1 for 2, base on balls. See if he can execute here as Moore heads for the plate. With 2 outs against the Pioneers. Jacob Land trying to preserve his shutout. Brody Moore stepping in. He looks right out at Moore. Excuse me, right out at Land. Land fires. That one's hit by Moore. Out towards right. Over and into the glove of the right fielder. And that will do it. The Elmira Pioneers have fallen in defeat 10-0. An excellent performance by Jacob Land to carry home the victory for Geneva. A shutout victory. Pioneers fall 10-0. And we want to thank every one of you who joined us for the doubleheader here tonight. What an exciting game as the Pioneers wrap it up here in June. We'll be back with you on July the 2nd, the first game of the second half of the regular season. The Pioneers will be looking to pull themselves back into a playoff position. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm John Clement. Pioneers fall 10-0 in Game 2. Good night, Elmira.